Albert Pike, Sovereign Pontiff of Universal Freemasonry, said that Masons worship Lucifer as God. Have you heard this claim? It is one of the most repeated accusations against Freemasonry, quoted in books, shared online, and used to attack the craft for over a century. There is just one problem. It is a complete and utter lie, and today we're going to expose the con man who invented it, why he did it, and why this hoax refuses to die even though it was publicly exposed and confessed as a fraud in 1897. This is the story of Leo Taxil, the hoax that fooled the world, and the lie that will not die. Let us start with the alleged, quote, anti. Masons love to cite this passage, claiming it comes from Albert Pike as secret instructions to high-ranking Freemasons. Here is how it usually starts. On the 14th of July, 1889, Albert Pike, Sovereign Pontiff of Universal Freemasonry, addressed to the 23 Supreme Confederated Councils of the world the following instructions. The Masonic religion should be maintained in the purity of the Luciferian Doctrine. If Lucifer were not God, would Adonai, the God of Christians, calumniate him? Yes, Lucifer is God. The true and pure philosophic religion is the belief in Lucifer, the equal of Adonai. But Lucifer, God of light and God of good, is struggling for humanity against Adonai, the God of darkness and evil. Shocking, right? If this were true, it would be devastating to Freemasonry. But here is what you need to know. This quote is completely fabricated. It was invented by a French con artist named Gabriel Antoine Jogand, Pods, who wrote under the pen name Leo Taxil. And we know it is fake because Taxil himself publicly confessed to making it all up. So who was Leo Taxil and why did he do it? Born in 1854, Taxil was a pornographer, satirist, and professional hoaxer who made his living by creating sensational lies. He hated the Catholic Church and spent years writing anti-Catholic propaganda filled with vulgar attacks and obscene stories. But then in 1885, something interesting happened. Taxil claimed he had converted to Catholicism and asked the Church for forgiveness. Many Catholic leaders welcomed him back, believing his conversion was genuine. It wasn't. Taxil had a much more sinister plan. He decided to create an elaborate hoax that would accomplish two things. First, to make Freemasonry look evil and satanic, and second, to eventually embarrass the Catholic Church by revealing that they had believed his lie. For 12 years, Taxil published books and articles claiming to expose the secret satanic rituals of Freemasonry. He invented stories about Masons worshiping the devil, practicing black magic, and plotting to destroy Christianity. And his most important lie was about someone who did even exist. Her name was Diana Vaughan, and according to Taxil, she was a high priestess in a secret Masonic order called Palladism that worshipped Lucifer. Taxil claimed that Diana Vaughan had been born into this satanic cult, had participated in demonic rituals, but had eventually converted to Christianity and exposed Freemasonry as darkest secrets. He published her supposed memoirs. He shared her letters. He described her encounters with demons who appeared in Masonic lodges, and people believed it, including many Catholic clergy and anti-Masonic writers. There was just one problem. Diana Vaughan didn't exist. She was entirely a product of Leo Taxil's imagination. When people began demanding to meet Diana Vaughan in person, Taxil made excuses. She was in hiding. She was afraid of being assassinated by vengeful Masons. She would reveal herself when the time was right. That time came on the 19th of April, 1897, in Paris. A large crowd gathered at the Geographic Society Hall, including journalists, Catholic leaders, and curious citizens. They had been promised that Diana Vaughan would finally appear in public and tell her story. Instead, Leo Taxil walked onto the stage and made a stunning confession. He admitted that everything, the satanic Masonic rituals, the worship of Lucifer, the secret order of Palladism, and Diana Vaughan herself, was completely fabricated. He had made it all up. For 12 years, he had been running an elaborate hoax designed to make fools of both Freemasons and the Catholic Church. The audience was outraged. Some people tried to attack him. Taxil had to be escorted out under police protection, but the damage was done. Taxil had succeeded in his goal. He had exposed just how easily people would believe lies about Freemasonry, and he had humiliated the Catholic leaders who had promoted his stories. Now here is where the story takes a darker turn. After Taxil's confession, you would think the hoax would die immediately. Surely, once people knew it was fake, they would stop repeating these lies, right? Wrong. One of Taxil's most devoted followers was a French Catholic priest named Abbé de la Rive. He had written extensively about Taxil's claims, including publishing the fake Luciferian Doctrine, quote, attributed to Albert Pike in his 1894 book. To his credit, when Taxil confessed in 1897, Abbé de la Rive immediately retracted everything he had written about Diana Vaughan and palladism. In the April 1897 issue of his magazine Freemasonry disclosed, he admitted he had been deceived and apologized for spreading lies. But the fake quote was already out there, and other writers who either didn't know about Taxil's confession or didn't care kept repeating it. In 1933, an American writer named Edith Starr Miller published a book called Occult Theocracy under the pen name Lady Queensborough. She copied the fake Pike quote from Abbé de la Rive's book. But she didn't bother to mention that de la Rive had retracted it decades earlier, and from that point forward, the hoax took on a life of its own. Anti-Masonic writers have been copying and repeating this fake quote ever since, usually without attribution. They treat it as gospel truth, even though the evidence of its fraudulent origin is freely available to anyone willing to look. You can find the truth about Leo Taxil in the New Catholic Encyclopedia, Coil's Masonic Encyclopedia, the Great Soviet Encyclopedia, and dozens of scholarly historical sources. The facts are not in dispute. Leo Taxil confessed publicly. Abbé de la Rive retracted his writings. The hoax has been exposed for over 120 years. So why does this lie refuse to die? The answer is both simple and troubling. Some people don't want to believe the truth about Freemasonry. They have convinced themselves that Freemasonry is evil, satanic, and dangerous. And once you've decided that something is the work of the devil, you are willing to accept any lie that confirms your prejudice. These critics justify their dishonesty by believing they redoing God's work, saving the world from Satan. No misquotation, no distortion, no fabrication is too great if it accomplishes what they see as their holy mission. This is done in the name of him who said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. The irony is painful. Let us address the logical problems with the fake quote because they re-obvious once you look. First, there is no position called Sovereign Pontiff of Universal Freemasonry. Albert Pike was never given such a title because it does exist. Freemasonry has no single worldwide leader. Second, there is no confederation of supreme councils to which Pike could have sent instructions. The Scottish Rite Supreme Councils operate independently in different jurisdictions. Third, why would Pike suggest special treatment for 30th, 31st, and 32nd degree Masons, when in the United States, virtually all Scottish Rite Masons receive the 32nd degree? That would mean telling everyone a secret that is secret. Fourth, and most important, about 1 million out of 2.5 million American Masons have the 32nd degree in the Scottish Rite. This includes ministers, rabbis, bishops, and devout worshipers of God across every denomination. Is it believable that if they were taught to worship Lucifer, there would be mass resignations and public outrage. The entire claim collapses under the slightest scrutiny. Albert Pike was a respected scholar, poet, and Masonic philosopher. He wrote Morals and Dogma, a complex work exploring moral philosophy and symbolism. Pike was a deeply spiritual man who wrote extensively about God, morality, and the search for truth. The idea that he secretly worshipped Lucifer is not only false, it is a vicious slander against a man who dedicated his life to making good men better. And make no mistake, slander is exactly what this is. It is bearing false witness, it is spreading lies, and it has real consequences. This hoax has been used to attack Freemasons for generations. It has damaged reputations, broken friendships, and caused families to be divided. Men have lost jobs, been ostracized from their communities, and been accused of devil worship based on a lie that was exposed in 1897. So what should you do if someone confronts you with this fake Pike quote? Freemasonry teaches its members tolerance, even of its detractors. Don't be drawn into angry arguments. But don't let the lie pass without comment either. Simply state calmly and firmly. That quote is a fabrication. It was invented by Leo Taxil, a con artist who publicly confessed in 1897 that he made it all up. The hoax has been documented in encyclopedias, historical records, and scholarly sources for over a century. If you are genuinely interested in the truth, I encourage you to research Leo Taxil and read the actual historical evidence. The truth is on our side. We don't need to shout. We don't need to attack. We simply need to speak the truth with confidence. As Freemasons, we believe in the importance of truth, integrity, and honest dealing with all mankind. When lies are spread about the craft we love, we have a duty to correct them, not with anger or hatred, but with facts and evidence. Remember the words often attributed to Edmund Burke, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Do nothing. Speak the truth. Defend the craft with fact. And never be ashamed of being a Freemason. This hoax has survived for over 120 years, but the truth has survived for thousands. Light will always overcome darkness. Truth will always defeat lies, and Freemasonry will continue to make good men better, regardless of what our detractors say. If this video helped you understand the truth about the Albert Pike and Lucifer hoax, please share it widely. The more people who know the facts, the harder it becomes for this lie to survive. Subscribe to this channel for more videos defending Freemasonry with facts and evidence. Leave a comment if you've encountered this hoax and how you responded. And remember, we meet upon the level, we part upon the square, and we speak the truth always. The lie will not die easily, but we will not stop telling the truth.